When we think of World War II, we automatically think of Hitler, Germany, or the Jewish people. We rarely take into consideration that many other countries and people were affected by this too. While Germany was invading one side of Poland, Russia was invading the other, causing hundreds of thousands of Poles to be deported to Siberia, leaving their homes. This is my grandmother's story, a story that's never been told, the story that's made her who she is today.
I am Irena Kropa-Mackiewicz. I'm born in Poland. That is a very long story. That was the 10th of February 1940. And they took us to Siberia. They gave us only 20 minutes to pack up.
How old were you?
I was not 11 yet.
Stop and imagine being a 10-year-old kid, playing with toys and your friends. Then imagine in the matter of 20 minutes, having it all taken away from you.
I think we've been on a train for 28 days. Train, not passenger train. It was the train for animals there, or some kind of baggage or luggage or whatever. Well, the train was cold. It was January, February. The temperature was for a long time practically 40 minus Celsius. And the train they have a stove, round one, but a little bit of coal, like, so with the fire there, no toilets, no nothing. Didn't have water, we didn't have nothing in the beginning. And my father, who was on a second sleigh, like, he put us to the train, not him, but the army, Russian army, was putting us like chickens. And then they said to my father, "What are you doing here? Why don't you go home?" And he didn't know what to do. He was just shocked, and he said, they say Russia, поезжай домой. And he said, but my family is there on the train. So two of them, they took him by the shoulders, and they throw him on the train practically, on this. And that's how we was traveling for 28 days. And we landed in Novosibirsk. My mother was sent to work in another small place, but far away, down there to them, for a gold worker. She was
in the mines?
In the mines, yeah. She was one who was on the top of it, washing these whatever stones they come from the mine top. And my father was placed to take care of the horses. It was hard. Siberia for us was very, very hard place to live. We didn't have much because pay was very little, very small. I was going on a mountain, we have a hill, like digging for a garlic, wild garlic, or wild onions, small ones, to eat. It was hard, it was very hard to go to ask people for help. They can share something. And in 1 year later or 2 years later, when we make our own garden, we planted the potatoes. And we've been very happy to have for next winter our own potatoes, not going to the place where the people planted there, and we've been looking for potatoes in the winter time there to have something to eat, that we have our own.
I remember as a kid, if I complained about anything, I'd always get lectured about how lucky I am to even have it. You never know what you have until it's taken away from you. I don't think anyone can fully understand it until it's happened to you.
And then one of the days we received the amnesty from Stalin. He let us go, that we can leave Russia without any problems, only Polish people. That's what they to remember. Some people wanted to leave, some people was afraid to leave, some people say we're not leaving. So I never forget when at night time, when we were sleeping, we should be sleeping, but I never slept. I have to know everything what is going on. So it was funny. The men were coming to my father and they say, go, don't stay here even one day, just go. Because if you don't leave Russia now when you can, you will be here forever. And then my father decided to leave. And we again, whatever we have, very little, we start again. And he said, okay, come on this and this day, this and this time, and don't stay in Shipilings, you have to go to live on a highway in a way. And then we stop when we see. And he has to pay for him right away the amount he wanted. So that's what happened. He took us by a sled to Novosibir, to Shipilins. From there, we left Shipilins on a highway, and we waited for the lorry to stop to pick us up. He stopped, and back on the lorry they cover us completely, nobody around to see that they pick up, because they will be, in trouble. My father was going for 3 days on a station. We stayed on a station inside to pick up tickets on the train to go to Uzbekistan, to Tashkent. And he got the tickets and we got on a train. The train was, again, not a passenger train, it was a train for they transport everything there. Been going, I don't remember how long we'll be on this road. Really, I don't. In Tashkent, my father had to take my sister out of the train, go to the hospital because she was very sick. And my mother, me, my two younger sisters and brother, we travel on the same train up to the Uzbekistan. I don't know exactly the name where we stay in Uzbekistan. I don't. But we stay there as long as my father and my sister can, when she's gonna get better, they will come to us. They knew that we were going to Uzbekistan. All the women were silk. and was very, like, how you can say it, pants, but not a tight one like we're having now, you know, just loose and nice long dresses and nice shawls around, and they look so beautiful. In this, as I always look, I say, oh my goodness, I would like to have something like that. It was lovely. Oh, in Uzbekistan, coming back, we have to split. Family get divided. Like my father went to the army. They organized in Uzbekistan, but somewhere south, organized Polish army. My mother gave us, two of us, to one orphanage, and two of them in another orphanage. That was organization of Polish people to take as many children out of this part of country, or this part of, take them to Poland again. So they took the youngest one, and my sister Helen and I, they've been taken to another orphanage. So we've been split. And my mother was going like to one place to another to check on us. At this orphanage, when I was with my sister, it was terrible. It was very hot. We stayed for how long? I don't really know. Don't remember how long, but I know my mother was very sick there. But she came out from it. And my father was gone. And in the end, we have to leave too. They took us to the Krasnovodsk by train, and from Krasnovodsk we boarded
A ferry?
ferry, something like that, and we went travel to Pahlavi. Stopped there. My mother met us in Pahlavi, and he went to this orphanage because they come over before us with the army, Polish army, on a boat. So my mother went to him to talk about that she wants to take the two of them, my younger siblings, and to stay with us, or 5 together. And he said, okay, you can come tomorrow. This man who was looking after the orphan kids. My mother went there tomorrow, and he was already left to Africa. So again, we couldn't get together. Okay, from Pahlavi we came to Tehran. And in Tehran, my mother got very sick. And 14 days later she died. That's where I have her. We didn't know nothing about her for 2 weeks. Only when I went to the hospital to see her again, I find out that she died.
No one told you? Like, you found out on your own?
Yeah. No one. I came back to the place where we stayed. It was the camp number 2. And through the Blue Cross, after my mother died, I get news from him that he is looking for us from the blue color. And soon after that, when he found out that we were little, he came. And that's what we get together in Tehran. And our neighbor, who was a very good friend of my mother, she said, you know what, today the Polish army is coming, the people who are not in a good health to be in the army, they are sent home. And lots of them is coming to this camp to see, maybe they find their families. So she said, maybe your father will come. And I said, and he said, from Iraq, these men are coming. I said, my father in Iraq, I don't know. And in the morning I went to wash my clothes, not thinking even about it. And my sister Helen was at home in a way. And this is my Pani Hucher who was telling us about it. She said, you know what, come with me. Maybe you will recognize your father. And she went with my sister, and they've been, lots of people were standing on the side waiting for their husbands or sons or brothers or whoever. And when they were just marching, walking, and my sister looked and said, I think this is my father. So this lady started to call, Mr. Kropa, Mr. Kropa. And he just stopped. He heard. And then she said, come here, your daughter is waiting for you. You know, and this way he came over to her and took her where we staying with block. And they've been both crying. And then another boy who knew us, you know, lots of us, like Polish people, refugee, all this, ran to my place where I was washing, and he said, come home, your father came. I said, oh yeah, sure, my father came. You know, it was just, I didn't believe him, but anyway, I put everything together. I came to this barrack where we stay, and I see them sitting and crying, so I sat next to them and I started to cry. Three of us were crying. But after this day, and from this day, my father was not the same man, completely. He just like was completely lost. You couldn't talk to him. The people knew him. They wanted to talk. And he just was like someplace else. And nobody knew what to do with him. Because they come, lots of women, they come and they talk and try to understand him. And you know, because kids in this age, like I was only, 13, and my sister 11, we didn't know what to do with, how to say anything. And the other people tried, but he was for at least 3 or 4 weeks. He just was not the same man. One day, when we get back to Poland, he write all the numbers, where she is and what cemetery, the name, everything. When we go to Poland, we take her back with us. And it never happened. And then we went from there Africa. And Africa was the land when I felt really, really good.
Where in Africa?
Tanzania, and our camp, refugee camp, was called Tengeru. I was fine. I was enjoying the sun and good time. In Tengeru we were taken to orphanage. 4 of us, we lived, my siblings and I, we lived in one round house. And we've been very happy. Africa gave us lots of sunshine and good time, love and everything. That was the most beautiful years in your life, in everybody's life, to be teenager from the age of 14 to 21. You know, you just enjoy every moment of it. I've been going to African safaris to see other places, like how the people live. And in this time, Tanzania belonged, it was a colony of England. So all the people who worked there, like English people, and us, we started to learn English. And the schools we have there, it was really, really wonderful years to spend there. And from Africa to England, it was a very good trip by boat. Very nice trip. In England, we went to another camp. So I went to my friend, I said, "What you doing here? Let's go dancing." And she said, "No, I don't feel like." She had a boyfriend with her. I said, No, come on, I want to go. And we went, they say, "Okay, let's go." And then she showed me this man and she said, "Look, this is a new one here. And he's quite good looking." And I said, not too bad. And then after this, he came over and asked me to dance. I said, samba. I don't know how to dance the samba, but maybe he doesn't know too, who knows. I tried. He didn't know well, I didn't know well, but somehow we've been dancing together. And from this time we started to see each other for a year or so. After a year he was ready, he was in Air Force, and he was like supposed to be sent to Egypt, and he just asked me to marry him. And we got married. And then we married a year later. Our daughter was born. And we decided to come to Canada. So we came here with 7 months old daughter. And we started our life in Canada. Anyway, it was like all the family get together again, and we, up to this day, 3 of us are living in Montreal, and one sister is in Ontario.
Do you appreciate things more?
I think so, because if you lose, you don't have nothing. Like I mentioned in Siberia, in other countries, and you live with practically with nothing. All of us from Siberia, when we come to, to the camps, that organization took care of refugees people, we've been all skeletons. So, I know how it is to be hungry, and I know how to be, to survive. So that, I think that makes me more understanding. To this day, I don't want to say this but I'm trying to help the people in Africa.
Hey, don't you sponsor?
Yeah, I do, and I feel much better.
It's like you're giving back. Do you feel you're more minimalistic? Like you don't need much to be happy? Like you're happy with what you have?
Yes, I am. I am very happy. And we started, like with little thing, the basket when we bought it first to put your dirty clothes in. I was so happy I have to show everybody, come and see what I No, it is. When the people don't have nothing and they started to one piece after another to buy and to enjoy everything. Because not everybody wants to listen to a story. Nobody that much interested. The Polish people went through a lot, so they know, but we don't talk about it because it reminds us of really sad time.
My grandmother's life proves that no matter how hard life is, you can always overcome it and grow as a person. She was forced to travel all over Europe and Africa, losing family members along the way. A tough past can either make you or break you. And in my family's case, it made us.